Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom for episode 2. I'm BP and we're back here in August. Last time we started building our fleet, completed a stone picking contract, and left off on field 34 wrapping up an oat harvest contract. Today, we have a fertilizing contract to complete before we head into September. Let's get started. We are back on the farm having wrapped up the oat contract harvest. Let's go ahead and collect that contract before we move on. We've already accepted that fertilizing contract from last time, so you gotta go pick up the equipment and get started on that one. 158,000 for that contract. Great. We need those funds to keep building on our farm. As we wrapped up, I realized we didn't have a spot to store straw. And as we really don't have any use for it right now, I'm thinking we should probably sell it and help us pay off some of this debt. When we start looking at where we can sell the straw, there's a small problem. There's no selling points on the map. So I think maybe what we're going to do is use the sell all mod and drop a sell point down by the shop. Maybe play it like a bale sales sell point for us so we can offload some of this straw. So I'm going to head down that way now and get going. We'll get that put in and then we'll start up with that fertilizing contract. Here we are arriving at the shop. I was thinking maybe we put the sell point over by the animal dealer. I think it would fit well over there. So let's go ahead and turn off the tractor and see what we have over here. So we have the buy sell point for the animal dealer right here. We have the shop over there. So I'm thinking maybe we put the sell all point in here and put it into our auto drive loop. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in. Let's see how this goes. There are a couple of different size mods. There's one with some crates and pallets. I'm not sure this one really fits what we're trying to accomplish as far as it integrating into the map. They have a regular size sell point, which isn't bad. And then they also have this full size one. I'm sort of keen on this full size one. Let's go ahead and drop that. Let's get that centered up a little bit better. Drop that right there. And then grab some gravel. Make sure that matches. It does. And let's just add a little bit of a loop to the drive here. Push that out a little bit, soften up some corners. Let's get in here and make that look nice. I'm thinking maybe even while we're here, if we dropped a couple of trees in and just landscape this in a little bit, make it look like it's been here for a while. A couple of these. I think that'll look nice. Let's take a look. Yeah, I like that. I think it looks really good. So let's go ahead and get rid of this straw sold. And while we do that, we'll add to our auto drive loop we already have. I think we'll just add a loop on right here. Do want to tie that in a little bit better. Here we go. Head right over. Let's see where we get that trigger for the dump, and then we can drop a waypoint over here. I think that should be just about right. Label that. We'll make that a bale sales. That'll fit into the map nicely. While we're here, we can go ahead and sell all that straw. Just under $200,000 before we sell it. And all that straw from that oat harvest contract, that's $100,000. That's a nice bump to our cash balance so we can keep building on the farm. Finish up this auto drive course. And I think we just add it, tie it right in here. Give it a nice tie in right by the shop trigger. All right, and we are good to go. Now, if you remember from last time, we did lease the equipment for the fertilizing contract because with the Better Contracts mod, we do get 3 pallets of fertilizer, which for the cost of the lease is going to save us some money. I'm going to leave this right here. Let's jump into the shop. There was that fertilizer spreader we were looking at last time. Let's go ahead and pick that up now and get this contract started. So there we are. Let's go ahead and get BKT tires put on. The narrows, that's great. Capacity. Let's leave that at, no, let's bring it all the way up. The nice thing about this one is, just going to double check here in the shop. It does do both fertilizer and lime, so we don't need a huge capacity for the fertilizer, but the lime with the large fields we're going to be running, that high capacity is going to make a big difference. So get this painted up so it fits in with the rest of the farm. I'm thinking maybe we make this top the same as the cover. Yeah, I like how that looks. Nice two-tone look to it. So we'll grab that from the store. And I'm thinking, just to be safe, I know we have those 3 pallets of fertilizer from the lease. Maybe we pick up a couple more. We'll need them on the farm eventually, and that way we don't risk coming back. So let's get this connected, filled up, and we'll head off to field 28 and get that contract started. We're pulling into field 28 for the fertilizing contract. Go ahead and get the course set up, and I think we may leave this one on a time lapse for you guys. So once we get started, see what we want to set up here. I think one headland, we can do rounded corners. Let's take a look and see what that looks like as far as a course goes. Nice. Also, just double check our speed. Yep, we're at 25 miles an hour, so we should be good there. We'll set this one up, and we'll see you when we're done. That's a wrap on the contract. Let's head back to the farm and get everything put away for the night and head into September. I collected the money for the contract on the way back to the farm. And here's what I'm thinking for some additional storage for our implements. Back here behind our large cold shed. And we got to get the combine put away too. I'm thinking this field over here, may be a nice spot to drop a couple of covered sheds and some lean-to type sheds and just get these things parked up. So going and looking at sheds, we've got a lot of enclosed stuff, but as far as being able to park things quickly and easily, keep track of our equipment, have it accessible, something like this shed here is one of my favorites. So if we go ahead and swap that over, get the color right, get the solar panel on it, and let's see. So there's definitely going to be some flattening. And I'm thinking about putting two of these next to each other, so I'm not sure if they'll line up unless I get everything set up properly ahead of time. So let's go grab the flattening tool, and let's work off of the level at the back door, and let's just run this back and forth. Let's build this out a little bit just to get that done. I think we're going to have to go ahead and move that corn header so we can get everything where it needs to be. Just pop that out of the way for a quick minute. Maybe grab the stone picker and put it out of the way as well. Okay, so when we go back in here, let's finish flattening everything out. All right, that's nice and flat. So now we pop back over to sheds, and let's grab this covered shed here. Definitely want the solar panels on it. It's a little bit of passive money generation is always going to be a plus. Do want to make sure that this is square to the building. So let's see. Yeah, those edges line up. So if we put one here, then we slide over, and I'm thinking these are nice because you can line up the inside posts and have them overlap. And then it looks like one continuous run. So if I put the second one right there, let's check and see how that looks in person. Yeah, so the seam on that lined up really nicely. We're all set. So let's go ahead and finish up the landscaping work. Smooth out our edges. Get everything nice and flushed out. May have to bring this one out a little bit first, and then be able to narrow it down. Let's see. Want all those edges nice and smooth. How does the side of that one look? Not bad. Not bad. All right, so go ahead and put a drive in so we can get our vehicles over there. Looks like they're using concrete over there, asphalt over here. I'm a big fan of gravel for this type of storage. So maybe we just gravel this whole back area in here. And then as far as access, I think while the vehicles come up, they'll swing by the back door and have them come around and get going on the back edge. And I think we might need to swing this out just a little bit. Something that looks like that. Square up that edge. Cut these a little bit so we get a little better curve on the drive. I think what we want to do is actually bring the grass back in here. What grass do we have? It's going to be meadow grass in here. Get all that painted in. I like our farms to look established, like they've been around for a while. You know, have some trees. Have it look like it belongs. Throw in some shrubs. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. We do have a little bit of meadow grass to put back in over here. Instead of neating this side up. And I'm not sure. We may bring a drive around this side and have it come back out where the harvester is so we can loop through. So I'm not going to put any trees or shrubs in on that side yet. But let's go ahead and just see how this works, this setup, if we want to make any changes. And real quick before we head out and do that, I'm just going to finish bringing this gravel line over here. And then maybe we'll fade this one in a little bit right there. Okay, let's jump out and get back into the Deutz. Start seeing where we want to run our courses. So currently, I think we're going to move the harvester out of the way. Let's drop that. Right now, I want to pull the harvester into the shed and just tuck it out of the way. I think eventually we're going to run a course through here and have it parked at one of those garage doors up on the right. But for right now, we just want some space to get some work done. So we have the farm shed there, the waypoint there. I'm thinking bring this guy around here, and let's go ahead and make this a two-way course. I think we want to drop this back a little bit. And maybe we'll swing this out of the way and make this more of a corner. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. So we head out. And again, when you're setting up these courses, you want to make sure you swing wide, have lots of room. I do think what I'll do is I'll run this guy all the way around the back the first time, and we will run a drive coming back up so that you can get back to the front of the farm from here. So go ahead and turn off that path. Let's connect it back up. That does make that loop one way, which we like. And then as far as parking, you want to use a secondary course to avoid other vehicles trying to use the parking course to cut through your shed. So when you get up here, line this up, we start at the turn there, and then we come in and you're going to start a secondary course here. You'll notice that's that yellow gold color, and that just means that when AutoDrive's calculating your routes to go places, it won't use a secondary course unless it absolutely has to. So in that regard, it's going to skip it anytime it's routing a vehicle to just drive around the shed or get back to the front of the farm. All of our park points we want to label with park so we can keep them together, and this is for the spreader. And then we'll drop down here. You select your park waypoint. Make sure you're on whatever vehicle or implement you want to park in the top left corner. So in this case, it is the spreader, and we have that selected. And then go ahead and mark that as for the parking spot. We're going to stop recording. And I like to always just give it a little test and see if everything lines up. So we back up here, go ahead and hit park, and let's see how that looks. So that pulls up, Spreaders in the shed, that's great. So we're going to go ahead and join this guy up to the rest of the course. Have him be able to get back out there. We'll drop the spreader here. And I think what we'll do now is get the stone picker parked. And then we do have to run back to the shop and grab the forage harvester, the one we emptied the straw out at that sell point we added down there. And let's get that parked in one of these bays as well. So we take the stone picker back around. Also need to check and see if that spreader, if that course linked up where we want it to. Take a quick look at that. It looks like it didn't connect. That's no big deal. We'll just drop another connection point here. And then we will get the stone picker set up again using a secondary course. Drive this guy in here. Get him nicely lined up. I suspect that should be about far enough. Make sure you select your waypoint if you're going to set it as a parking destination. Make sure you have your implement selected like we did last time. That way, no matter which tractor it's attached to, it will park where it needs to park. So that should be good there. Let's back it up. Give it a quick test. Yeah, I think that looks good. We'll connect that to the rest of the course here. All right. That all looks good. I'm going to run down and grab the forage wagon from the shop and bring it back up here. We'll get that one set up with parking, and I'll catch up with you guys when we're all set and have everything where it needs to be. The forage wagon is all parked up. So now let's take a look at getting a auto drive course set to go into our big cold shed and get that harvester parked. So bring up the course we already have. We're going to want a turn-in point here. Now I like to do a spline that runs all the way through the barn and comes out the other side, and then we park vehicles off of that sort of center spline. So we'll go in here, drive straight down, so we can park vehicles on either side. And then at the end, we'll turn and we'll come out here. So we have a course that comes all the way through the barn and links up with what we already have set up. I was also remembering while I was getting the forage wagon set up, our tipper over there, our dump truck, still has all that oat in it. We haven't put it in the silo yet. So when we're done here, maybe we'll run over there and put that in and get that stored, because I don't think it's worth selling the oat right now. Oat prices peak in January. We're actually at the worst point here in August, so they're going to go up about 50% between now and then. So we'll store it and we'll go sell it December, January timeframe when we're all done. Now that we have a course through the barn, we want to go ahead and jump into the harvester and get it parked up. So we're in here. And I think I want to park the harvester down there on that last door on the right facing out. So it's ready to head out when we need it to. It's out of the way. So I might go into in-cab for this. So we're here, and we want to link this with a secondary course right here and head into it. So let's... That may be a little bit tight. Sometimes the big vehicles swing a bit wide. It's hard to get them squared up. I wonder what that looks like on the outside. That's pretty good. Maybe a little further forward. Maybe one more waypoint there. We'll go ahead and mark that for the harvester. Now in this case, if you want to park your harvester or any vehicle, you can assign it a parking spot just like an implement. The difference would be, you know, what's selected. We have nothing attached here. So if I go ahead and select park harvester, I need to change that. Now the name's correct, and I select the parking, that will assign that parking spot to that harvester. Go ahead and stop recording. We're going to back it up a little bit. I think this point may need to be moved just a little bit back into the garage to get it started. And I'm wondering if our waypoints connect. So we'll go here and we'll give the harvester the ability to come out and turn. We want to give it a nice wide turning there. And then this way, if we wanted to go pick up the other head. So let's pull it out and just see what happens when we tell it to go park. I'm wondering if that corner we took was going to be a bit too tight, and it may clip the wall a little bit. So it can't reach it, meaning the course we started didn't connect. So let's swing through here. Get eyes on that first waypoint. Yeah, it doesn't look like this one connected up. So we'll swing this one over just a touch. Let's get all these. We can actually bring them on this side. This may help the angle a bit if we swing these out and give it a wider turn. And then connect up here. And let's go ahead and hit park. And swing around here. Yeah, so we are clipping that wall. Cancel that. Jump back in. Let's see if we can adjust the course just a little bit and help it miss that corner. Okay, so let's go ahead, park it up. We're along for the ride. And hopefully that next set of adjustments we did will help get it squared up to that door and swing that corner nice and easy without risking hitting the wall. We did move it over several feet, so should be in pretty good shape. That worked out quite well. So we're nice and tight against the wall. We're not totally straight with the opening, but you know, that may be as good as we're able to get it for right now. So let's turn off the harvester. Let's jump out. As I said, we do need to run over to our dump truck. We still have the oats left over. If I remember correctly, it should be about 115,000 liters. Oh, 114, so not bad. We jump in here, start up the truck. Let's get these put in our silo for storage. This is a really cool silo. So it has two features beyond being a normal silo. First off, it functions like a factory and does distribute our grain crops and our cereal crops to productions if we need them to. Additionally, as you can see over here, we have that river bottom propane tank right next to the big corn dryer. So we can dry corn, which increases its value pretty significantly. And since we have two cornfields, I'm excited to do that. We do need to figure out how we're going to get propane on the farm. But for right now, let's go ahead and dump those oats into our silo. All right, there we go. While I'm sitting here watching that dump, I remembered we moved the diesel tank when we started, but we didn't put any diesel in it. And since we got a little bit extra money sitting around right now, let's go ahead and fill that up so that we can have some fuel on the farm for our trucks. I'm going to leave this in here for right now. Run back over. Let's park up the Deutz. Let's just throw it in one of the shop garages for now. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to get into tomorrow. We'll have to see what contracts come up. you know, what makes sense there. I did, while I was getting the forage harvester parking set up, I did widen this left side path a little bit more and do some more planting with the trees and the shrubs, try to sort of make everything fit in a little bit better. So that's all done and finished. We'll run this over to the shop. We'll throw it in one of the bays. And I think that'll be it for today, and we will see you guys in September. So see you in the morning. Good morning, guys, and welcome to September. I'm in the construction menu looking at where we want to place a cow barn on the back of our property. I'm thinking somewhere behind the sheds we put in yesterday. There's a nice area and a little meadow with some trees. And it's interesting because Farmland 53, which we do own, is the entire outside of the map. It also is all of the roadways and areas between the fields. If you look carefully at our farm, you can see that our farmland doesn't connect all the way over to our cornfield. And our cornfield doesn't connect all the way over to our farm. There's a little strip in the middle, and on the PDA, it almost looks like a runway, which I imagine is for that plane that keeps flying over. But since we own the entire outside of the map and all of the common areas, we can connect our farm and that field and use some of that space for the cow pasture. Well, guys, we haven't quite gotten to the stage of having the cow barn in. I've been running into a few challenges, and I think I have it figured out. So when I was placing the cow barn and expanding the pasture, I wasn't able to get any meadow grass to grow, so we wouldn't be able to feed our new cows. I did some playing around on the map, and I'm not sure if it's the fact that the map is a conversion from 22 and maybe doesn't recognize customizable pastures, or if there's an incompatibility with the cow barn I'm trying to use. But I did find a workaround. So what we have here is a new grass field. I bought a plow. Let's go over and see that real quick. And a planter. You guys may notice some of the money has gone down. So there's our new plow and our new Kinsey planter. And I plowed up this area in front of where the cow barn's going to go and planted grass. And it seems to be that if I get grass planted before I put the cow barn down and then include that area inside the pasture, there is grass that regrows for the cows to eat. So we plowed all the way down here. I will admit there was a small mishap. It was raining earlier when I did this, and we did end up in our soybean field. So we ran over a little bit of crop, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So we're at the stage now, we're about ready to place a cow barn, but between the cost of the plow and the new planter, we can't afford the cow barn. So the good news is we have some new contracts that come up, and if we knock those contracts out, we should be in good shape to put the cow barn down before the end of the episode. So take a quick look at the contracts we have available to us. We have a really nice $120,000 sorghum harvest down on field 31, and that goes up to the Phelps grain elevator where we took the last contract to. There are a couple other contracts in here, some high value ones, 109, 189, but those are going to be pea harvesting contracts, and those just take too long. What's interesting is I did buy that plow to have on the farm and just get that field in, and we have a 168K plowing contract on field 25. So I think I'm going to accept the plowing contract and accept the sorghum harvest contract and just get those going. Once we have that money in, we should be good to put the cow barn in and maybe even get some cows in there today before the end of the episode. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on those contracts, and I'll keep you updated on how we progress. We are on our last pass of the plowing contract and just about to wrap up the harvesting contract as well. I think what we'll do is run the Deutz back to the farm with the plow on it, put the plow away, and grab the forage wagon, run over to field 31 and start getting this straw up. Then we'll go back and see about putting the barn in. And while the contracts were running, I did a quick run through the sale, and it looks like we may have a pretty nice cattle hauling setup available to us. So maybe we get the barn in and then go pick up the truck and trailer and see about bringing some Angus beef back to the farm before we wrap up today. I think that's going to be the best plan. So here we are, last little bit, get that picked up. Get the plow folded up. Go ahead and collect on that contract real quick. So that's $168,000 for plowing that field. So that plow came in awfully handy after we had to use it to put the grass field in back at our own farm. I'm going to run this back now. We'll switch over to the forage wagon, get that going, wrap up the other contract, get that barn in, and try to get some cows in here in short order. Just got done dropping the plow off. Let's swing over, hook up to the forage wagon, head up to field 31 and see about getting that straw up. I don't know if we'll do dairy cows as well as beef cattle on the farm. I think right now, while we're trying to build the farm and get some money coming in and start paying off our loan, you know, buying some calves for beef cattle and letting them eat grass for free while they grow up and increase in value is going to be a good long-term investment for us. The dairy cows are going to require some additional equipment. We could buy dairy calves and let them grow a little bit too, but we'd still eventually need to get into, you know, silage at a minimum, probably get all the way up to TMR. We'd also need equipment to haul the milk. So I'm just not sure that we want to take on that capital expense this early on the playthrough. Certainly the barn we're going to put in will have the capacity to hold plenty of cows, so we could do a mix or switch over to dairy later. But I think for right now, just with the opportunity we have with the truck and trailer in the sale and the barn that we're looking at, let's get some beef cattle going and just have them working in the background while we get to harvest next month. We'll be working on getting our fields prepped after that, and they'll just be in the barn doing their thing, progressing in the background, and then we'll have, you know, a good opportunity in a couple months when they've grown up, and at that point hopefully we'll have some more liquid cash. We'll pay down the loan a little bit and have some more opportunities to explore other animal husbandry or get a dairy cows or, you know, chickens and pigs and goats and sheep, any of that stuff as well. So we'll make those decisions when we get there. For right now, we're pulling up on field 31. Go ahead and get this opened up. Probably could have grabbed a field entry there instead of going through the ditch, but if it works, it works. We will set this guy up on horseplay, have him start. Let's see, I'm thinking he needs to do 2 headlands. We do want sharp corners, want to get all that straw. And then we'll have to check and see what happened with the harvester, since we just got the notification that the tank is full. Maybe our truck needs to run up to the grain elevator and get that emptied. It does look like our truck is full at this point. So let's grab our truck. make that run, and then we'll come back and finish emptying the harvester when we're done with that. I think we can sneak right through here, go right along this field, pop back up to the road. Yep, and that should dump us out right here, right in front of the Phelps grain elevator. Another nice harvest, since there's still some in the harvester. It looks like we got over 600,000 liters off that field. Should be a nice little payday when we get that contract done, and be able to put some sorghum in our silo for later. Let's go ahead and see what we get out of this one. I'll swing back and grab you guys when this is done. It may take a little while to empty. And check in and see how much sorghum we have left over for our own stash. Well, that wrapped up delivering the sorghum. We took all 600,000 liters and just had a couple liters left over. There's still some left in the harvester, which we sent back to the farm, which we can go ahead and collect in this when we get back there and put into our silo. So I'm going to go ahead and send this back to the farm. We'll jump back in and get that cow barn put in and buy that truck and trailer, and we'll wrap this episode up. Here we are back at the infamous cow barn project. We have our grass field, and I think now with the money we brought in on those contracts, we still have to collect the harvesting contract. The plowing contract gave us some good funds. We should be able to put that barn in. So the barn I'm looking at is right here. No, actually, is it that version? Nope, it's this version right here. So, took the original cow barn XL, made some modifications so it holds a few more cows, has a little bit more capacity for food and straw, slurry. Just makes it a little easier to have large capacity. I think we want to get this lined up with just about the edge of the field here. Enough room to swing around and turn around there. We'll go ahead and drop that on. We do want to customize the fence. And here we want to sort of trace the edge of the field that we have cut in, coming down here. I think when we get down to this edge, we can run it pretty much through the trees all the way down to our field down here. Maybe even run it just a little bit along this edge here. I think right about there should do it. Do we want to plant meadows? Yes. You can see it did change the texture in the field we already had. And what I've been able to figure out, that's okay. It will grow in and continue to regrow as they eat it. I may have to give it a day or two to get there to figure that out. I do want to come down here real quick and just clean up this end here, so we don't have the old field hanging out. And we'll go ahead and put some field grass in there. Clean that up. Check. Along here to make sure we have everything we need. Looks pretty good. I know the field didn't extend all the way into these trees, so we'll just put some grass in here. We can always come back and clean it up a little bit more later once we see what grows in. But that should be about it. So let's pop out of build mode and take a quick look at this barn. Great barn, excellent details. You have the fans running. Looks like an old corrugated side with stone. The fans inside, you've got your trigger points. There's your milk storage. This is a great door here in the middle. It leads out. You have a slurry tank on this side. Your milk output is actually outside. And then we do have to put down a manure heap. Yeah, and I like how much space we have down here. We'll run a quick gravel path and a loop so that we can put in a course to have the cows taken care of and the food delivered and the slurry picked up. Open these gates right here. I wonder if we're seeing any meadow grass yet. I don't think we will. Let's take a quick peek and just see. No, nothing yet, but I'm hopeful that overnight we'll have some grass come in. So, real quick, let's put that gravel path in. Then we'll go down and we'll pick up the truck and trailer, grab some Angus beef cattle, and that'll wrap us up for today. So we want to have a nice entry angle down here. Get this up here. Make sure we have a nice sweeping turn so the tractor can get straight. Give us a little bit more space. Gonna round off some of these corners. Give us a nice bit of access there. Line that up. I do have the straight edge mod on, which is great for going along fences and situations like this. You can just put that down, hold shift, and it'll pop right out and go straight out for you. As we come down here, this one might be a little bit trickier. We want to bring it all the way out to the fence and give that tractor that's going to be in there feeding them as much room as possible to come back out. Looks like we may have to do a little bit of smoothing on this side. Even that out just a touch. That should be nice in there. And I think it's going to be worth bring the grass all the way up to the building here. We're not going to use this space. Again, I like our buildings to look established, like they've been here for a while. They have some plants. Trying to get everything drawn in nicely, so maybe throw a couple of... I haven't used any of these shrubs yet. A couple of big shrubs in here. And maybe even a tree or two. Nothing too big. We don't want to interfere with the tractors. Just something that looks like that. We could even do a couple of trees coming out on that side. And then we have our island over here, which I'm going to leave open for right now. I'm actually wondering, let's take a quick look and see what we have for manure heaps. I'm thinking this spot could be just about perfect if we end up running a course along the front of the building. They could swing right in here and pick up the manure as well. So I think that's going to fit really well right there. I see, so we need a little bit more smoothing around the edge of the building again. Maybe make that a little bigger and just give it a quick once over the whole area and just try to make it all nice and even. Our tractors don't have any problems. And come back in here. Grab a few plants to add in. A couple of trees here on the end. Might even be able to do a pretty big tree. I think that's going to look pretty good there. Something a little smaller here on the end. I think that might interfere with the route a little bit. We have that might be... That's not too bad. That's nice and tall. See how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so the cow barn is in. We have our routes. And at this point, I think we need to jump over to the sale and check out that truck and trailer I was talking to you guys about. So right here, we have the modified Wilson trailer, holds 200 head of cattle, which is great. Yeah, why not do some underglow? We all know the body is going to be blue to match the rest of the farm. Trim seems like what we already have blue, but maybe not. Grids, do we want to try those black? Maybe that'll be a good look. Nah, it's a little dark. Maybe we just go with the whole thing blue, or maybe we update the trim. to black and see how that turns out. Let's take a quick look at that. The grids seem to still be black despite having been switched over. So let's see. Okay, we can make them yellow. Is the custom color not taking? The custom color just comes out as black apparently. So I guess we're leaving that as black. We'll put the trim back to blue. Grab some black rims. And I think we are just about set. So that's 69,000 right there. We'll go ahead and grab that. That'll be down at the shop waiting for us. And then a little further down, we have a great truck in the sale. The TLX Phoenix by 82 Studios. These trucks are just phenomenal. Great options. They drive really well. They're a lot of fun with customization. Let's see. Here we go. I think for right now, we're going to stick with a pretty standard setup. This thing must have a couple hours on it. The paint job is absolutely destroyed. Let's see. Maybe we do a quick extension, one extension. It's got the 850 horsepower motor. I don't think we need to go that fast while we're hauling cattle. I am a fan of either the Phoenix wheels. I do also like, wonder if this one has the big, yeah, you've got the Nokian, and I thought there was also a, oh, the Continentals are nice. I don't know that I've played with those. That must be new to 25. The BKTs, they had like a super single in the back. Yeah, this is a pretty nice setup. I don't know. I think those Continentals weren't bad either. Those look pretty nice. I think we stay with that. We'll do custom chicken lights under there, under the door. They've got a lot of headlight options. I like something with a little bit of glow. The bumpers, big square bumpers with lights are always my favorite. Front grille. Bring in some bars. We'll go with dual exhaust. Straight with flappers looks pretty good with the exhaust extension. Because they don't really do visors. They do some in-cab driving. No extra mirrors. We don't want a sleeper on it. It's just to haul some cattle. No antenna. Interior color black. Engine sound. Couldn't tell you what any of these mean, but we'll go with 3. Vinyls. Do we want to wrap it? Let's see. There are a couple of good options. Oh, I like that. To change the color palette a bit, but let's see how that works. And then the rear bumper. That's nice and clean. I've used this one before. Sometimes I feel like you get some collisions with the ground and it's just not worth it. We're not going to need a rear PTO. So let's just go with the second one here. All right, main color, we're going to knock that over to the blue. Fenders, we want those to match. It's funny because this blue I like is almost the Winter Wolf from 82 Studios. It's a very similar color to a lot of his trucks already have. We don't want any special editions. All right, so the red vinyl, I'm thinking we want that to be a gray, like maybe night sand blue. And that'll look good with the Phoenix there. Then the second one in between, I like, do they still have... Now they used to have a black sand. Maybe that'll contrast nicely. So that looks good. Vinyl 3, I can't tell if that's actually anything in there. If there's a little thin pinstripe line or if that's just divider in the hood. So we'll make that black as well. Rim colors, you know, we're going to go black. All right, I think that's a nice looking truck. Big beefy tires for getting out of the mud around the cow barn. I think we probably will end up repainting it once we get it in there. I do wonder if we should make the hood for that vinyl. Nope, that's not the one. So let's go back to black. Vinyl 2, is that the one that maybe should be blue? Yeah, I like that with just a quick stripe on there, almost vintage. So that looks really good. We have the option to take the horns off. Wheel, headlights, bumpers, front grille, air filter, exhaust, visor, mirrors, sleeper, antennas, interior colors, engine sounds, vinyls, rear bumper. Doesn't look like we can take the horns off. All right, great. I think that is... Oh, don't have enough money after all that. All right, let's go check in on our forage wagon and see if that's done and we can complete that contract, and then we definitely should have enough money. So here is... we have 95,000 liters of sorghum. He's not quite done yet. This guy we can go ahead and dump in. Let's pick up the sorghum out of the harvester. And then we can go ahead and put it into our silo. While that's filling, let's take a quick look at when we have the best price for sorghum. So sorghum, the best price is going to be... yeah, we're in September. It's in January, so the price isn't very good. So again, this is going to go right into our silo for a little bit of long-term storage. Let's get the harvester parked up. We're heading over there. We'll give it a quick fold. You got to get right up on the building here to put the header away. Leave it here tucked out of the way next time. And then from here, we have it all set up. We should be able to park that and be good to go. We'll jump out and let that do its thing. We'll take off through here, go grab our truck. See if we can find a sweet spot in this silo where the top doesn't hit when we dump it. This is a modified version of an existing mod. I may go back in between episodes and change the empty speed, because with its higher capacity, we should have it a little bit higher. So here we are, we're dancing again, coming back down. See if we can get this situated a little further over and maybe have less of a collision. If not, we maybe, since we have that TLX Phoenix, we may end up picking up an underbelly dump trailer and getting rid of this. Because even if we change the dump speed, it still doesn't work with our silo setup, which is unfortunate. Well, we tried, so maybe by the time we meet again, this truck will be sold and we'll have an underbelly trailer and be able to pick stuff up from there. I do wonder what was making that Phoenix cost so much. Because I thought it was, we got 45,000. I thought it was in the 30s. And maybe we put that extension on it and that's what made it cost so much more. So maybe we just come back here. Yeah, it's 37. So we should be able, was it the extension? Extension was only 3,800. The motor's fine. Maybe it was the tires. Let's see. We did end up going with the Nokia. Was it Nokia? No, we had Continental. So there's 4,500. So we're already pushing it. So maybe we just go back and go with the Trilux. Oh, not the Trilux, the Phoenix. Those look good. Want black decals, custom. Headlights are 1,000. We should be able to afford that still. Maybe it was the bumper where we started adding up. Yeah, we're at 44. Yeah, front grille we'll skip. We'll go single exhaust for now. We can always come back and modify this stuff later. Sleeper, no antenna. Interior colors, black. Engine sound, we went with 3. Vinyls didn't cost us anything. The rear bumper didn't cost anything. So let's get our colors going, because I think we can get this done before the next contract comes up, before we complete that. All right, so fenders, we want a color match. No special edition. The vinyl, we went with the sand gray. The second vinyl color, we ended up matching the top of the hood, which gave us just the stripes. The final vinyl color, I think we just did this one. Not sure where that one shows up. And then rim color, we did go with black sand. So there we go. Now we can afford to get this and get out and get that on. So let's go ahead and purchase that. Yep, $130 left over. Not bad. This guy's almost done, so we'll be able to turn in that contract. But let's go take a look at our new setup. Oh, I forgot I had shop deliveries turned on, so our stuff got delivered in the middle of the field. So, not a big deal. Oh, that does sound good. Truck definitely needs a paint job. Trailer looks great. Let's take this for a drive. Let's head down and get to the animal dealer. And be ready to purchase those cattle when we're done getting that straw off that field and we can collect the rest of that contract. So it is interesting. I thought we had the 850 horsepower model. It does seem to be accelerating a bit slowly, but we're getting there. Even the in-cab engine noise. Listen to that Jake brake. That's nice. Yeah, the in-cab noise with the engine is still good. This is such a nice mod. I'll check in again with you guys when we have that contract wrapped up. We are pulling into the farm with our first load of beef cattle. We got 100 black Angus calves. Gonna run them down to the barn, get them in tonight, and take a quick look. Once we completed that contract, I did do a quick repair and repaint on the truck and the trailer. I think we got a great looking setup. Want to share with you guys as we head out tonight. So here we are pulling into the farm, run them right down here, and put these calves in their new home. Just gotta find the trigger. There we go. And let's move all the cows to the barn. Alright, so here's the truck, freshly painted. Got a great looking cattle hauling setup. Got a bunch of happy Angus calves in their new field at the barn. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. And we'll see you in the next one.